In this video help, I'm going to cover the long invoice print. And just to show you, if you click on the drop-down menu, you'll see it here for the long invoice. But in this screen, what I want to show you is that you can either go through the other screen, but what you want to do is if you're in the actual invoice that you're working with, it's best while you're still there, just pop over and you'll get this, first of all, a dialog that explains how to actually run a search or a find in order to get the invoice that you're looking for. As you'll notice in the background, the long invoice is shown, and it's showing the current record that we're on for invoice number 2. And what we're going to do here, it's very simple. Basically, all you're going to do is go ahead and go to this field here when we do the find and pick invoice number 2 that matches the invoice that we're working with. As you can see up here, this has the post, or I should say pre-input information for your record for basic business information. You can edit that to your heart's content and add that to this particular screen as far as the layout, or it can be customized if you want it to be. In this case, I'm going to go to the find mode. I'm going to go ahead and pick invoice number 2. And I can pick other information, but what I'm going to do is just pick number 2 and say perform the find, and you'll see that it sets up the invoice and it puts in that one line. Now, say for example you had a long invoice and there were 30, 50 items in that particular invoice. What you can do is you can actually do that one invoice, or if you wanted to take, for example, an invoice and have additional ones, you can do another print for whatever items are on there. Or you can do maybe a quote or a layaway and print a layaway invoice so people can see that it's not completely paid for yet. This is easy to do as far as managing it, just basically by doing a find and picking the items that you want to see on the screen. Let's go back and do the find mode one more time just to show you how easy it is. I'm going to pick invoice number 1, and I'm going to show you what it did is it actually switched over to invoice number 1 automatically. So now when I go ahead and say find, you'll notice that the invoice has changed, and now we're looking at invoice number 1 with the business information for invoice number 1. So this is a standalone screen if you need it to be for adding information or both printing invoices from different invoice numbered items. Okay, if you have any questions as usual, you can contact me through the support site. To return to the invoice that you were viewing, go ahead and click this, and it went right back to the one we were working on, which was invoice number 2. If you have any questions, again, please contact me.